Atlanta, 2003. An ordinary night about to transform into the worst nightmare of one of the world's most powerful women. The phone rings. Oprah Winfrey answers, not knowing that this call would divide her life in two, before and after. On the other end, Patricia's trembling voice, her sister. But this isn't just any phone call. Patricia is about to reveal something that could destroy everything Oprah built over decades. Oprah, I need to tell you something. Before you find out from someone else. The silence following these words seems to last an eternity. Oprah feels her heart racing. She knows that tone of voice. It's the tone of someone carrying a secret too heavy. It's the tone of someone about to detonate a bomb. And then Patricia speaks. Words that cut like blades. A betrayal. A revelation that could tarnish the impeccable reputation Oprah built with so much sweat and tears. Intimate details, private conversations, vulnerable moments that Patricia exposed. Not to a close friend, not to a confidant, but to the media. Oprah's own sister sold her privacy. Oprah closes her eyes, takes a deep breath. For the first time in years, she doesn't know what to say. The woman who always had the right words, who comforted millions of people around the world, who built an empire based on trust and empathy, is speechless. Paralyzed. Why? Is all she can whisper. Patricia hesitates. There's desperation in her voice, but there's also something else. Resentment. Pain. Years of frustration compressed into a single act of betrayal. You won't understand, Patricia responds. You never understood. The call ends. Oprah remains motionless, phone still in hand. Outside, her team continues working, oblivious to the storm about to break. Atlanta's lights shine through the window, indifferent to the chaos beginning. But Oprah knows. In a few hours, maybe less, the news will break. Newspapers will publish, TV shows will speculate, and the whole world will want to know. What did Patricia reveal? And why did Oprah Winfrey's sister betray her so brutally? That night, Oprah couldn't sleep. She sat there in the dark, replaying every moment she shared with Patricia, every childhood memory, every secret she trusted, every time she extended her hand to help her sister. And now, all of it was being used against her. What Oprah didn't know yet is that this betrayal was only the beginning, that the real reason behind Patricia's actions was much deeper and more painful than any headline could capture, and that in the coming days, she would be forced to make the most difficult decision of her life. Destroy her sister to protect her image, or forgive her and risk losing everything. This is the story of how a phone call in Atlanta almost destroyed Oprah Winfrey's empire. A story of betrayal, pain, and the question that would change everything. How far does the power of forgiveness go? The night of March 15, 2003, began like so many others for Oprah. She had just finished recording another episode of her talk show, exhausted but satisfied. The program was at its peak, breaking audience records. Oprah was more than a host. She was an institution, a cultural phenomenon, the woman who transformed American television. But that night, something was different. A restlessness she couldn't name, a feeling in the pit of her stomach that made her look at the phone every few minutes, as if expecting news that hadn't arrived yet. And then, at 11:17 p.m., the phone rang. The caller ID showed the name she knew so well, Patricia, her younger sister, the one with whom she shared a difficult childhood in Mississippi, the one who witnessed the years of struggle before fame, the one who should be by her side, always. Patty, Oprah answered, using the affectionate nickname from when they were children. Is everything okay? It's almost midnight. Silence on the other end. Not ordinary silence, but that kind of heavy silence, loaded with unspoken words. Oprah felt the room's temperature drop. Oprah! Patricia's voice was broken, each syllable seeming to cost immense effort. I did something terrible. Oprah's heart raced. 1,000 possibilities ran through her mind. An accident? An illness? Financial problems? She had already helped Patricia so many times over the years. Whatever it was, they would solve it. They were sisters, after all. Tell me, Oprah said, trying to keep her voice calm. Whatever it is, we'll solve it together. Not this time. Patricia let out something between a bitter laugh and a sob. I gave an interview to the National Enquirer. Oprah's world stopped. The National Enquirer. One of the country's most sensationalist tabloids. The kind of publication that lived off scandals, invented stories, destroying reputations. An interview about what? Oprah asked, but already knew the answer. Could already feel the ground disappearing beneath her feet. About you, about us, about everything. Everything. That word echoed in Oprah's mind like thunder. Everything meant the private conversations they had. The moments of vulnerability Oprah shared, thinking she was talking to her sister, her confidant. Details about her personal life she would never reveal to the public. Family fights, buried secrets, wounds that never completely healed. How much? The question came out cold, cutting. Oprah no longer recognized her own voice. Oprah, it wasn't for money. How much, Patricia? More silence. Then, almost in a whisper, $50,000. $50,000. An insignificant amount for Oprah, who moved millions. A fortune for Patricia, who always struggled financially despite all the help she received. But it wasn't about the money. It was never about the money. It was about betrayal. Pure and simple. What did you tell them? Oprah needed to know. Needed to prepare for what was coming. Patricia hesitated. About when we were children. About how you really felt about our mother. About the boyfriends you kept secret. About that period when you thought about giving up everything before the show took off. About, stop. Oprah interrupted. She couldn't hear more. Each revelation was like a stab. When does the story come out? Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Less than 12 hours. Oprah looked at the clock again. 11:22 p.m. 5 minutes. That felt like 5 hours. 5 minutes that changed everything. Why, Patty? Oprah's voice cracked. For the first time in the call, vulnerability showed through. Why did you do this to me? And that's when Patricia said something Oprah would never forget. Because I needed you to see me. Just once. Just once in my life, I needed to not be just Oprah Winfrey's sister. I needed to exist. The call ended. There were no goodbyes, no promises they would talk again. Just the dial tone, persistent and monotonous, echoing in the silence of Oprah's room. She remained there, sitting on the edge of the bed, phone still in hand. Her mind worked at maximum speed, but her body was paralyzed. Years of media training, knowing exactly what to say and when to say it, controlling narratives and managing crises. None of that mattered now, because this time, the crisis came from within, from where there should be love and loyalty. Oprah finally stood up and walked to the window. Atlanta slept outside, oblivious to the unfolding drama. In a few hours, the sun would rise. People would wake up, pick up their newspapers, and read the story Patricia told. But they wouldn't know the complete story. They wouldn't know about the years of support Oprah gave her sister, the checks she sent when Patricia was broke, the opportunities she created, the times she answered the phone in the middle of the night because Patricia needed to talk. No, they would only see the juicy details, the exposed secrets. Oprah's image, carefully built over decades, beginning to crack. And the worst part? A small part of Oprah understood. Understood the pain of living in someone's shadow. Understood the frustration of being known only as the sister of. Understood the desperation that leads someone to do the unthinkable. But understanding didn't mean forgiving. Not yet. Maybe never. As the early morning hours dragged on, Oprah made the first of many difficult decisions she would have to make in the coming days. She called her lawyer, then her press secretary, and finally, her best friend Gail. "I need you to come here," Oprah said when Gail answered, sleepy. "Now, Patricia betrayed me, and tomorrow morning, the whole world will know." But what Oprah didn't know, while preparing for the storm, is that Patricia's betrayal was just the tip of the iceberg, that in the coming days even deeper secrets would surface, and that she would be forced to confront not only her sister's betrayal, but also her own failures, her own mistakes, and the complex web of resentments they wove over the years. The night of March 15th ended, but the real battle was just beginning. To understand how everything fell apart in 2003, we need to go back to where it all started. Back to when Oprah Winfrey was just a girl with a dream in rural Mississippi, and Patricia was the little sister who watched everything from the sidelines. Oprah is born in Kosciuszko, Mississippi, in a small wooden house without running water. Her mother, Vernita Lee, is young, unmarried, struggling to survive in the segregated South. Life is hard. Food is scarce. Opportunities, even scarcer. Patricia arrives 3 years later, in 1957. Another mouth to feed. Another responsibility for a mother already overwhelmed. From the beginning, the two sisters are different. Oprah is extroverted, curious, hungry to learn. She recites Bible verses at church and captivates everyone with her presence. People notice her. They see something special in that little girl with the big voice and even bigger dreams. Patricia is quieter, more reserved. She watches from the shadows as Oprah shines, and even as a child, she feels it. That difference. That invisible gap that would only grow over the years. When Oprah is 6, she's sent to live with her father, Vernon, in Nashville. Patricia stays with their mother in Milwaukee. The separation is the first crack in their relationship. While Oprah discovers books, education, and a structure that will shape her future, Patricia navigates a chaotic environment, moving from house to house, school to school. The letters Oprah sends are full of stories about school, about the books she's reading, about her dreams of being on television one day. Patricia reads them and feels something twist inside her chest. Pride, yes, but also something else, something she's too young to name. Envy. Years pass. Oprah wins a scholarship to Tennessee State University. She lands her first job in radio at age 19, then television. Her rise is meteoric. By the time she's 23, Oprah is already co-anchoring the evening news in Baltimore. Patricia, meanwhile, drops out of high school. She gets a job at a supermarket, then at a laundromat. Her life is a series of dead-end jobs and broken relationships. She watches Oprah on TV and wonders, why her and not me? What made Oprah so special? But despite everything, Oprah never forgets her family. When she starts making real money, she sends checks. She pays Patricia's rent when she's late. She buys Christmas presents for Patricia's kids. She offers opportunities. "Come work with me," Oprah says once, in the early 80s. "I can get you a job at the station." But Patricia says no. Because working for Oprah means being in Oprah's shadow. It means everyone knowing her only as Oprah's sister. And Patricia wants to be more than that. She needs to be more than that. The year that changes everything for Oprah. She moves to Chicago to host a failing morning show called AM Chicago. Within months, she transforms it. The ratings skyrocket. 2 years later, it's renamed The Oprah Winfrey Show. And then comes 1986. The year Oprah becomes a national sensation. Her show goes into syndication. Suddenly, Oprah isn't just a local celebrity. She's everywhere. Her face is on magazines. Her name is in newspapers. She's interviewing presidents, movie stars, the world's most influential people. Patricia watches from Milwaukee, her small apartment a universe away from Oprah's growing empire. She watches her sister win Emmys. She watches her buy a mansion in Chicago. She watches her become one of the most powerful women in America. And with each achievement, with each milestone, the distance between them grows. Not just physical distance, but emotional distance. Because how do you relate to someone who has become larger than life? How do you be a sister to someone the whole world claims as their own? The first real sign of tension comes in 1991. Patricia calls Oprah, asking for help with medical bills. Her daughter is sick, and Patricia doesn't have insurance. Oprah, of course, says yes. She always says yes. She sends a check for $20,000. But when Patricia calls to thank her, there's something in Oprah's voice. A tiredness. An impatience barely concealed. "Patty, I'm always happy to help," Oprah says. "But you need to start thinking about your future. About building something sustainable. I can't always be there to bail you out." Patricia hangs up, feeling small. Diminished. Because Oprah is right, but that doesn't make it hurt less. Because it's easy to talk about building a future when you have Oprah's resources, Oprah's connections, Oprah's opportunities. That's when the resentment truly begins to take root. Not as something conscious, but as a seed planted deep, watered by years of comparison, of feeling invisible, of being known only in relation to someone else. Oprah launches her book club. It becomes a cultural phenomenon. Publishers fight for her to choose their books. Authors see their careers transformed overnight. Oprah's influence reaches beyond television. She's shaping American culture. Patricia tries to be happy for her sister. She really tries. But every time she sees Oprah on TV, every time someone asks, "Are you related to the Oprah?" Every time she has to explain that yes, she's the sister. But no, she doesn't have Oprah's life. Something inside her breaks a little more. The family gatherings become painful. When they're together for Thanksgiving or Christmas, all eyes are on Oprah. Everyone wants to hear her stories. Everyone wants her advice. Patricia sits at the end of the table, invisible, while her sister holds court. "How's the show going, Oprah? Tell us about interviewing the president. Is it true you're starting a magazine?" No one asks Patricia how she is. No one cares about her stories. Because what stories does she have to tell? About her job at the department store? About her struggles to pay rent? About her failed relationships? Oprah produces and stars in Beloved. The movie doesn't do well at the box office, but critics praise Oprah's performance. She's nominated for awards. She's taken seriously as an actress, not just a talk show host. Patricia watches the movie alone in a theater in Milwaukee. She watches her sister on the big screen, commanding every scene, and feels the tears coming. Not tears of pride, but tears of grief. Grief for the relationship they once had. Grief for the girl she used to be before envy consumed her. Grief for the sister she lost to fame and fortune. After the movie, Patricia sits in her car in the parking lot for an hour. She thinks about calling Oprah, telling her everything she feels, but what would she say? "I'm jealous of your success. I resent you for being everything I'm not. I hate that I need you." So she doesn't call. She drives home, and the resentment grows deeper. The new millennium. Oprah launches the Oprah magazine. Within months, it's one of the most successful magazine launches in history. Oprah is now a media mogul. Forbes estimates her worth at hundreds of millions of dollars. She calls Patricia that year, on her birthday. "I want to do something special for you," Oprah says. "I'm buying you a house. You shouldn't have to worry about rent anymore." Most people would be grateful. Most people would cry with joy. But Patricia feels something else. She feels like a charity case, like a problem Oprah is solving with a checkbook. "You don't have to do that," Patricia says. "I want to," Oprah insists. "You're my sister. Let me do this for you." And Patricia accepts because how can she say no? But the house doesn't feel like a gift. It feels like another reminder of the gap between them, another symbol of Oprah's power and Patricia's dependence. 1 year before everything explodes, Oprah's show continues dominating daytime television. She's interviewed thousands of people, changed millions of lives, built an empire that extends beyond television into publishing, film, and philanthropy. At a family Christmas dinner, Patricia watches Oprah surrounded by cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone laughing at her jokes, everyone hanging on her every word. And Patricia realizes something terrible. She doesn't just resent Oprah's success. She resents Oprah herself. She resents how effortlessly Oprah commands attention, how people light up when she enters a room, how the world bends to accommodate her, how she gets to be generous and kind and beloved while Patricia struggles in obscurity. That night, Patricia makes a decision. She doesn't fully understand it yet, doesn't see where it will lead, but something shifts inside her, something dark and desperate. She thinks, if I can't have my own spotlight, maybe I can step into Oprah's, even if it means burning everything down. The seeds of betrayal are fully planted now. They just need the right circumstances to bloom. And those circumstances are coming, faster than anyone realizes. Because in early 2003, Patricia gets a phone call. A reporter from the National Enquirer. They're doing a story on Oprah. Would Patricia be willing to talk? They'd pay, of course. Pay well. Patricia's first instinct is to say no, to hang up, to call Oprah and warn her. But then she thinks about the house she didn't earn, the check she didn't deserve, the life she could never build, the sister she could never be. And she says yes. The betrayal doesn't happen in a moment. It builds over weeks. Phone calls with the reporter, emails with details, memories dredged up and packaged for public consumption. With each revelation, Patricia feels something. Not quite guilt, not quite satisfaction, something in between. She tells herself she's just sharing her truth, her story, that she has a right to her own narrative. But deep down she knows, this isn't about truth. This is about pain, about finally being seen, even if it means destroying the person she's supposed to love most. By mid-March 2003, the story is ready. The National Enquirer has everything they need. Patricia has signed the contracts, accepted the money. There's no turning back now. Which brings us to that night. March 15th. The phone call. The confession. The moment everything changes. Because now Oprah knows. And the world is about to know. And nothing will ever be the same. Before we continue with this incredible story, I need to ask you something. If you're as captivated by this real-life drama as I am, do me a favor. Hit that like button right now. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what happens next, because trust me, what's coming is absolutely mind-blowing. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this story. This is the kind of content that needs to be seen. Let's grow this community together. Now, let's get back to Atlanta, 2003, where Oprah's world is about to explode. March 16th, 2003, 6:47 a.m. The National Enquirer hits newsstands across America. The headline screams in bold letters, "Oprah's sister speaks, the secrets she never wanted you to know." Oprah hasn't slept. She's been in her Chicago office since 4 a.m., surrounded by her crisis team. Her lawyer, her publicist, her producer, and Gail. They've been preparing for this moment since Patricia's call 9 hours ago. But nothing prepares you for seeing your private life displayed on a tabloid cover at every grocery store, gas station, and newsstand in the country. Gail picks up the first copy. Her face goes pale. "Oprah, you don't want to see this." "Read it," Oprah says, her voice steady but cold. "All of it." And Gail reads. Every word. Every detail. Every intimate moment Patricia sold for $50,000. The article is devastating. Patricia doesn't just reveal facts. She provides context, emotion, interpretation. She talks about their childhood, but frames it in a way that makes Oprah look cold and distant. She discusses Oprah's relationships, exposing vulnerabilities Oprah never shared publicly. She reveals conversations about their mother, about family conflicts, about moments of doubt and fear. But the worst part isn't what Patricia said. It's how she said it, with a mix of bitterness and satisfaction that seeps through every quote. Patricia doesn't present herself as a loving sister sharing memories. She presents herself as a victim, finally speaking her truth about the real Oprah Winfrey behind the carefully crafted public image. "She was always like this," Patricia is quoted saying, "always calculated, always knowing exactly what to say to get what she wanted. People see this warm, empathetic woman on TV, but they don't see the person who forgot where she came from, who forgot the people who were there before the fame." Oprah's hands tremble as she listens, not with fear, with rage, pure, undiluted rage. "She's lying," Oprah says. "Half of this is completely fabricated. I never said those things about Mom. I never—" "It doesn't matter," her publicist interrupts gently. "People will believe it because Patricia is family, because she has nothing to gain except truth. That's how they'll frame it." By 7:30 a.m., Oprah's phone is exploding. Calls from friends, colleagues, concerned fans. Text messages flooding in. Emails by the hundreds. Everyone wants to know, is it true? How could Patricia do this? What are you going to do? The morning shows pick up the story immediately. By 8 a.m., Good Morning America is discussing it. By 8:15, Today has dedicated a segment to it. By 9, it's trending on early internet forums and entertainment news sites. The headlines multiply. Oprah's sister reveals family secrets. Patricia Winfrey. Living in Oprah's shadow destroyed me. The real Oprah? Sisters tell all rocks media empire. Oprah's publicist works the phones frantically, trying to control the narrative. But it's like trying to hold back an ocean with your hands. The story has its own momentum now, its own life. By 10 a.m., Oprah makes a decision. She won't hide. She won't run. She'll face this head on. Book me on every major show, she tells her publicist. I want to tell my side. Oprah, maybe we should wait. Let this blow over. It won't blow over. Oprah cuts her off. This is my sister, my family. This is personal, in a way nothing has ever been personal. If I don't control this narrative now, someone else will. Her lawyer advises caution. Anything you say publicly could be used if you decide to pursue legal action against Patricia or the Inquirer. I don't care about legal action, Oprah says. I care about the truth. But as the day progresses, Oprah realizes the truth is more complicated than she thought. Because the story isn't just spreading through mainstream media. It's seeping into her professional relationships, into her business dealings, into everything she's built. By noon, she gets a call from one of her major advertisers. They're concerned about the story. They're monitoring the situation, which is corporate speak for, we might pull our ads if this gets worse. By 2 p.m., her production team is fielding questions from affiliates. Some local stations are getting calls from viewers threatening to boycott. Not many, but enough to notice. By 4 p.m., Oprah's scheduled interview with a major Hollywood star is canceled. The publicist says it's a scheduling conflict, but everyone knows the truth. They don't want to be associated with the scandal. And through it all, Patricia is silent. She doesn't do follow-up interviews, doesn't appear on TV to defend herself, just lets the story breathe, lets it spread, lets it do its damage, which in a way is worse. Because it means Patricia isn't seeking more attention. She's not trying to extend her 15 minutes of fame. She dropped a bomb and walked away, leaving Oprah to deal with the fallout. That evening, Oprah sits alone in her office after everyone has left. She looks at the pile of newspapers on her desk, each one carrying some version of the story. She looks at the phone that hasn't stopped ringing. She looks at her reflection in the dark window and barely recognizes herself. She's been through scandals before, controversies, criticisms, but those were professional. This is personal. This is her sister, her blood, the person who should protect her, not destroy her. Oprah picks up her phone, scrolls to Patricia's number. Her thumb hovers over the call button. She wants to scream, wants to demand explanations, wants to hear Patricia say she's sorry, that she made a mistake, that she didn't mean for it to go this far. But she doesn't call, because part of her is afraid that Patricia isn't sorry, afraid that Patricia meant every word, afraid that the sister she thought she knew never really existed. Instead, Oprah does something she hasn't done in years. She calls her mother. Vernita Lee answers on the third ring. I saw, she says, before Oprah can speak. I saw what Patricia did. How could she, Mom? How could she do this to our family? There's a long pause. Then Vernita says something that cuts deeper than any tabloid headline. Because she's hurting, Oprah, has been for years. And hurt people hurt people. That's not an excuse. No, it's not, Vernita agrees. But it's an explanation. And maybe we all missed the signs. Maybe we were all so focused on your success that we forgot Patricia needed success too. Oprah wants to argue, wants to list all the ways she helped Patricia over the years, all the money, the opportunities, the support. But she can't, because somewhere in her heart, she knows her mother might be right. The media storm continues into the night. By the time Oprah finally goes home at 11 p.m., the story has been covered by every major news outlet in America. It's on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. Entertainment Tonight has dedicated their entire show to it. Oprah's Wikipedia page has already been updated with a new section. Family Controversy, 2003. As she drives through Chicago's empty streets, Oprah thinks about tomorrow, about the interviews she'll have to give, about the questions she'll have to answer, about facing America and explaining something she doesn't fully understand herself. She thinks about Patricia, somewhere in Milwaukee, living with what she's done. And she thinks about a question that will haunt her for days. When did love turn into resentment? When did the bond between sisters become so fragile that $50,000 could break it? She doesn't have answers. Not yet. But she knows one thing. This is far from over. The scandal has just begun, and the hardest parts are still to come. Because tomorrow, Patricia will finally break her silence, and what she says will make today's revelations look tame by comparison. March 17th, 2003, 9:00 a.m. Patricia Winfrey appears on the morning show for her first and only television interview. Oprah watches from her office in Chicago, along with her entire team. The TV volume is turned up. No one speaks. Everyone just waits. Patricia looks different than Oprah remembers. Thinner, tired. But there's also something else in her eyes. A defiance. A determination that Oprah has never seen before. The interviewer, Susan McCarthy, wastes no time. Patricia, your sister Oprah is one of the most beloved figures in America. Why did you decide to go public with these private family matters? Patricia doesn't flinch. Because I've been silent for 46 years. Because I've lived in a shadow so deep that sometimes I forgot I existed. Because I needed people to know that Oprah Winfrey isn't just the woman you see on TV. She's also my sister. And our story is more complicated than anyone knows. But you sold this story to a tabloid. For money. How do you justify that? Patricia's jaw tightens. Everyone focuses on the money. $50,000. To Oprah, that's nothing. She spends more than that on a weekend vacation. But to me, it represented something else. It represented being paid for my voice, for my story. For once in my life, someone valued what I had to say. In Chicago, Oprah's publicist leans forward. She's good. This is bad. She's coming across as sympathetic. Oprah doesn't respond. She's too focused on her sister's face on the screen, trying to read the emotions beneath the words. Susan continues. Walk us through your relationship with Oprah. When did things start to go wrong? Patricia takes a deep breath. It's not that simple. There wasn't one moment where everything changed. It was gradual, like watching someone drift away in slow motion. When we were kids, we were close. We shared everything. But then Oprah got opportunities I didn't. She went to live with our father, got a better education, discovered television. And I stayed behind. Did you resent her success? Of course I did. Patricia's honesty is startling. How could I not? I watched my sister become one of the most successful women in the world while I struggled to pay rent. I watched her interview presidents while I worked retail. I watched her change millions of lives while my own life seemed stuck in place. But Oprah helped you financially, correct? She bought you a house, sent you money. Yes. Patricia's voice hardens. She did. And do you know what that felt like? It felt like being a charity case. Like being a problem she could solve with a checkbook. Every gift, every check, every generous gesture came with an invisible price tag. My dignity. Oprah stands up abruptly in Chicago, starts pacing. That's not fair, she says to the TV, though no one can hear her. That's not fair, and she knows it. On screen, Patricia continues. People see Oprah as this generous, giving person. And she is. But generosity without relationship is it's just guilt. It's obligation. For years, Oprah sent money, but she didn't send time. She didn't send presents. She didn't send the one thing I actually needed, to be seen as more than Oprah's sister. Susan leans in. What would you have wanted instead? I wanted her to ask me how I was doing and actually wait for the answer. I wanted her to include me in her life, not just send me checks to keep me comfortable in my absence. I wanted to be a sister, not a dependent. Patricia's voice breaks slightly on the last word. It's the first crack in her composure, and it makes her more human, more relatable. I know what people think, Patricia continues. They think I'm jealous, bitter, Maybe I am, but I'm also honest. And the honest truth is that my sister built an empire on empathy and connection, but she couldn't connect with the person who knew her first, who loved her before the fame, who would have been there for her whether she had $1 or $1 billion. Did you try to talk to Oprah about these feelings before going to the press? Patricia laughs, but it's not a happy sound. How do you tell someone who has everything that you have nothing? How do you explain to someone who's beloved by millions that she's failed the one person who should matter most? I tried, in my own way. But Oprah, she doesn't hear what she doesn't want to hear. She's trained herself to control narratives, to shape stories. And in the story she tells about her life, I'm just a footnote, a grateful recipient of her generosity. In Chicago, Gail puts her hand on Oprah's shoulder. This is character demolition. She's making you look like a narcissist. Oprah shakes her head. No, she's making me look human, and that's almost worse. Susan asks the question everyone wants answered. Do you regret what you've done? Knowing the pain it's caused Oprah. Patricia is quiet for a long moment. Then, I regret that it had to happen this way. But I don't regret finally speaking up. Because for the first time in my life, people are paying attention to me. Not as Oprah's sister, but as Patricia, as my own person with my own story. And yes, that came at a cost. Yes, I hurt my sister, but she hurt me first. She hurt me every time she forgot I existed. Every time she reduced our relationship to transactions. Every time she chose her empire over her family. What do you want now? What's the end game here? I want Oprah to understand that success isn't just about money and fame. It's about the people you love, the relationships you maintain, the family you don't leave behind. Patricia looks directly into the camera and Oprah knows she's looking at her. I want my sister back. The one I knew before the world claimed her. The one who understood what it meant to struggle because we struggled together. That's what I want, but I don't think I'll ever get it. The interview ends. The screen cuts to commercial. In Chicago, silence fills the room. Oprah's lawyer is the first to speak. We need to respond, immediately. She's framing this as your failure, not hers. But Oprah isn't listening. She's replaying Patricia's words in her mind. Every accusation, every wound revealed. And the terrible part is that some of it rings true. Had she been absent? Yes. Had she reduced their relationship to financial support? Perhaps. Had she been so consumed by her career that she forgot to simply be a sister? Maybe. Oprah? Gail touches her arm. What are you thinking? I'm thinking, Oprah says slowly, that Patricia might be right about some things. Not everything. Not the betrayal. But about feeling invisible? About being reduced to Oprah's sister? About wanting more than money? She pauses. I think I failed her long before she failed me. The room erupts in protest. Her publicist, her lawyer, her team, they all try to convince her otherwise. They show her the social media responses, which are mixed. Some people sympathize with Patricia, others call her ungrateful, but no one is talking about Oprah as they were yesterday, as a pure victim. Now the narrative is more complex, more nuanced, and that complexity is dangerous. Because Americans like their stories simple, hero and villain, good and bad. When things get complicated, people tune out. Or worse, they turn away. By noon, Oprah's phone rings. It's her mother again. Did you watch? I watched. And I don't know what to think anymore, Mom. Part of me wants to destroy Patricia for what she's done, but another part of me wonders if she's right. If I've been so focused on building my empire that I forgot the people who were there first. Vernita sighs. Oprah, you're one of the most successful women in the world. But success doesn't mean you're perfect. It doesn't mean you don't make mistakes. Patricia's methods were wrong. What she did was a betrayal. But her pain, that's real. And maybe it's time you face that. The call ends and Oprah is left with a choice. She can go on TV and defend herself. Paint Patricia as the villain. Use her platform and power to win the public narrative. It would be easy. She has the resources, the influence, the media training. Or she can do something harder, something riskier. She can acknowledge the truth in Patricia's pain, admit her own failures. Try to understand why her sister felt so desperate that betrayal seemed like the only option. That evening, Oprah's team presents her with a response strategy, a carefully crafted statement that positions her as the wronged party while maintaining dignity. It's perfect, professional, exactly what a PR crisis demands. Oprah reads it, then sets it aside. This isn't what I'm going to say. What do you mean? Her publicist looks alarmed. Oprah, we've spent all day on this. I know, and I appreciate it. But this statement makes Patricia look like a monster and me like a saint, and the truth is messier than that. Oprah stands. I'm going to do an interview, a real one, where I talk about my failures as a sister, where I acknowledge that Patricia's pain is valid, even if her methods were wrong. That's professional self-destruction, her lawyer warns. You're admitting fault. That weakens your position legally, publicly, and professionally. Maybe. Oprah agrees. But it's the truth. And I built my entire career on truth, on authenticity, on being real with people. I can't abandon that now just because it's inconvenient. The decision is made. Oprah will sit down with Barbara Walters in 2 days, not to defend herself, not to attack Patricia, but to tell the whole story. The complicated, messy human story of two sisters who loved each other and lost each other along the way. But before that interview can happen, something unexpected occurs. Something that changes everything again. That night at 11:47 p.m., Oprah's phone rings. It's Patricia. Oprah stares at the screen. Her thumb hovers over the decline button. She could ignore it, could let it go to voicemail, could maintain the distance that's grown between them. But she doesn't. She answers. Patty, I need to see you. Patricia's voice is different, smaller, scared. Please, I need to talk to you in person. There's something I didn't tell them, something I didn't tell anyone. And you need to know before everything gets worse. Worse? How could it possibly get worse? Because the interview I did? That wasn't the whole truth. I didn't just sell your secrets, Oprah. I sold mine too. And tomorrow, the second part of the story comes out. The part I didn't want to talk about. The part they're going to publish anyway because I signed away the rights. Oprah's blood runs cold. What are you talking about? I can't say over the phone. Please, meet me. Tomorrow morning, just you and me. No lawyers, no publicists, no cameras, just sisters. One last time before everything truly falls apart. The line goes dead. Oprah sits in the dark, Patricia's words echoing. A second story, worse than the first. Coming tomorrow. What could be worse than what already happened? What secret could Patricia have kept that's more damaging than the ones she already revealed? Oprah doesn't sleep that night. She paces her apartment, watching the clock, waiting for morning, waiting to hear what new disaster is coming, waiting to face her sister for the first time since the betrayal. And somewhere in Milwaukee, Patricia sits alone in the house Oprah bought her, crying. Because she knows what's coming. She knows the second wave of the scandal will be worse than the first. Because this time, it's not just Oprah's secrets being exposed, it's Patricia's. And some truths, once revealed, can never be taken back. March 18th, 2003, 7 a.m. A small cafe in a suburb between Chicago and Milwaukee. Neutral territory. A place where neither sister has history, where they can meet without ghosts of the past watching them. Oprah arrives first. She's wearing sunglasses and a simple coat, trying to be inconspicuous. It doesn't quite work. Even dressed down, Oprah Winfrey is recognizable. But the cafe is nearly empty this early. Just a few people who glance over but respect her privacy. She orders coffee. Doesn't touch it, just wraps her hands around the cup for warmth. Though the cafe isn't cold, she needs something to hold on to, something to ground her. At 7:14, Patricia walks in. She looks worse than she did on TV, dark circles under her eyes, hair pulled back hastily. She's wearing the same jacket Oprah bought her 3 Christmases ago, and that detail somehow makes everything harder. They don't hug, don't even smile, just sit across from each other like strangers who happen to share DNA. Thank you for coming, Patricia says finally. You said there was another story, that it's coming out today. Oprah's voice is flat, controlled. Talk. Patricia wraps her own hands around a coffee cup she doesn't remember ordering. The National Enquirer. When I did the interview, they asked me about everything. Not just about you, about me too. About my life, my struggles. They wanted the full picture. And I told them things I shouldn't have. Things I thought would stay private. But when I signed the contract, I signed away control. They can publish anything I said, and they're going to. Oprah leans back. What did you tell them, Patricia? Patricia's hands shake. I told them about my problems, my real problems. Not just being in your shadow, but everything else. The times I was so depressed I couldn't get out of bed for weeks. The relationships that failed because I was too broken to maintain them. The times I thought about ending it all because living as Oprah's sister felt like not living at all. The words hang between them. Heavy. Final. And that's not even the worst part, Patricia continues, her voice dropping to almost a whisper. I told them about the baby. Oprah goes completely still. What baby? The one I gave up in 1982. The one I never told you about. The one I couldn't keep because I was 25 years old, broke, and barely keeping myself together. Tears start streaming down Patricia's face. Her name was Sarah. I held her for 10 minutes before they took her. And I've thought about her every single day for 21 years. Oprah feels like she's been punched. You had a daughter? You gave up a daughter? And you never told me? How could I? Patricia's voice cracks. You were building your career, moving to Chicago, becoming someone, and I was just failing at everything. I couldn't even keep my own child. How do you tell your successful sister that you're a complete disaster? I would have helped you, Patricia. I didn't want help. Patricia's voice rises, then drops again when people look over. I wanted to handle something on my own, just once. Make one decision that was mine and not defined by what you would do or what you could provide. But I failed. Like I fail at everything. Oprah is reeling. A niece. She has a niece she never knew about. A girl who's 21 now, somewhere in the world, not knowing her biological mother or her famous aunt. The story comes out today, Patricia says. At noon. They're going to publish everything. About Sarah, about my struggles, about how I've been living with this secret all these years, and they're going to frame it like I'm this damaged person who lashed out at you because I couldn't handle my own life. Aren't you? The words come out harsher than Oprah intended. Isn't that exactly what you did? Patricia flinches. Maybe. Probably. I don't know anymore. All I know is that I was drowning, and instead of asking for help, I tried to pull you down with me, and now we're both sinking. They sit in silence. Two sisters who once shared everything, now separated by years of unspoken pain and fresh wounds. Why? Oprah finally asks. Why did you do the interview in the first place? The real reason. Not the explanation you gave on TV, but the truth. Patricia looks at her. Really looks at her for the first time since sitting down. Because I wanted you to hurt the way I hurt. I wanted you to know what it feels like to have your private pain made public, to have strangers judging your life, to feel exposed and vulnerable and powerless. I wanted you to feel what I've felt every single day of my life. Being my sister made you feel exposed and vulnerable. Being invisible made me feel that way. Being forgotten. Being reduced to a name in your contact list that you called twice a year. Yes, you sent money. Yes, you bought me a house. But you know what you never did? You never asked if I was okay. Not really. You never sat with me like we're sitting now and asked what I needed. What I was feeling. What I was going through. Oprah wants to argue. Wants to list all the times she reached out, all the conversations they had. But she can't. Because when she really thinks about it, Patricia is right. Their conversations were surface level, transactional. How are you? Good. Need anything? No. Okay. I'll call you next month. I'm sorry, Oprah says, and the words surprise them both. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I'm sorry I didn't see your pain. I'm sorry I reduced our relationship to obligations instead of connection. I'm sorry too, Patricia whispers, For betraying you. For selling your trust. For being so consumed by my own pain that I didn't care about yours. They sit there. Two women who share blood and history, and now a public scandal that's about to get exponentially worse. What happens when the story drops? Oprah asks. I don't know. More interviews, probably. More speculation. The press trying to find Sarah. Digging into my past. Making my whole life public consumption. Patricia looks defeated. I thought I was taking control of my narrative, but I just handed them ammunition to destroy me, and you in the process. Oprah thinks about her interview with Barbara Walters, about her plan to speak honestly about her failures as a sister. But that was before she knew about Sarah, before she knew how deep Patricia's pain really went. I'm supposed to do an interview in 2 days, Oprah says. With Barbara Walters, I was going to talk about us, about where I went wrong. Don't. Patricia shakes her head. Don't make this about you taking blame. That's not what this is. We both failed each other. We both built walls. We both chose pride over communication. Then what should I say? Tell the truth. All of it. The messy, complicated, painful truth. That we're two sisters who loved each other and lost each other. That success and resentment and time created a distance neither of us knew how to bridge. That we're both human and flawed and trying to figure out how to heal. Oprah nods slowly. And what about Sarah? Are you going to try to find her? Patricia's face crumbles. I don't know if I have the right. I gave her up, made that choice. What right do I have to disrupt her life now? The right of a mother who never stopped thinking about her daughter, Oprah says gently. The right of a woman who made an impossible choice and has lived with the weight of it ever since. For the first time since the scandal broke, Patricia sees something in Oprah's eyes that's been missing. Compassion, not pity, not anger, just pure, uncomplicated compassion. I don't know how to fix this, Patricia admits. Any of it. Us. The scandal. My life. Maybe we don't fix it, Oprah suggests. Maybe we just start being honest about everything. No more secrets. No more pretending. Just two sisters trying to rebuild what we broke. Patricia wants to believe her. Wants to believe they can come back from this. But she knows what's coming in a few hours. The second wave of the scandal. The revelation about Sarah. The media frenzy that will make the last 3 days look tame. Oprah, when that story drops today, it's going to get ugly. They're going to say terrible things about me, about my choices. They might even come after you for not knowing, for not helping. Let them, Oprah says firmly. Let them say what they want. We know the truth. We know the complexity. And maybe it's time the world understood that real families are complicated, that love and pain coexist, that success doesn't protect you from human struggles. They talk for another hour, not solving anything, not fixing anything, just talking like they haven't talked in years. Patricia tells Oprah about the life she's lived in the shadows, about the jobs she worked and hated, about the relationships that failed because she could never let anyone truly see her, about the nights she lay awake, wondering if her daughter thought about her. Oprah tells Patricia about the loneliness of fame, about being surrounded by people but feeling isolated, about the pressure of being everyone's inspiration when sometimes she didn't feel inspired at all, about the guilt she carried for leaving their mother and Patricia behind when she went to live with their father. And slowly, painfully, they begin to see each other again. Not as Oprah Winfrey media mogul and Patricia the struggling sister, but as two women shaped by the same difficult childhood who took different paths and lost each other along the way. At 9:30 they leave the cafe, separately because the press can't know they met. But before Patricia walks away, Oprah grabs her hand. We'll get through this, Oprah says. Whatever comes next, we'll face it. Together this time. Patricia nods, tears in her eyes. Together. But even as she walks to her car, Patricia knows the hardest part is still ahead. Because at noon, the world will learn about Sarah. And then everyone will have an opinion about the choice she made 21 years ago. The choice that has haunted her every day since. March 18th, 2003. 12:01 p.m. The second National Enquirer story drops exactly on schedule. The headline is even more sensational than the first. Oprah's sister's secret baby, the daughter she abandoned, and the shame she's hidden for 21 years. Within minutes, every news outlet in America picks it up. Within an hour, it's international news. Oprah is back in Chicago when her publicist calls, voice shaking. "Oprah, you need to see this. It's everywhere, every channel, every website. Patricia's story about the baby is dominating everything." Oprah turns on the TV, flips through channels. Each one is covering it. CNN, breaking news in the Oprah Winfrey family scandal. New revelations about Sister Patricia's secret child given up for adoption in 1982. Fox News, questions arise about what Oprah knew and when she knew it. Did America's most trusted woman ignore her own sister's crisis? MSNBC, the scandal deepens. Patricia Winfrey's hidden daughter and the family secrets that kept them apart. The coverage is relentless, brutal. They show Patricia's interview again, focusing on the moments where she mentioned her struggles. They bring in psychologists to analyze her mental state. They bring in adoption experts to discuss the emotional impact of giving up a child. They bring in everyone with an opinion, and everyone has an opinion. But the worst part is how they're connecting it to Oprah. The narrative is shifting from Patricia betrayed Oprah to how did Oprah not know her sister was in such pain? One commentator says, Oprah Winfrey has built a career on empathy, on connecting with people's struggles. But she couldn't see her own sister drowning? What does that say about who she really is? Another. This raises serious questions about Oprah's authenticity. She presents herself as this caring, nurturing figure, but her own sister felt so alone that she gave up a baby without telling anyone in her family? The criticism cuts deep because it touches Oprah's core identity. Her entire brand is built on being genuine, caring, empathetic. And now that brand is being questioned in the most public way possible. By 2 p.m., Oprah's inbox is flooded with emails from concerned partners, worried advertisers, and panicked executives. Her production team is fielding calls from affiliates who are getting pressure from local communities. Some viewer groups are threatening boycotts. Christian organizations are questioning how Oprah could have let her sister suffer alone. The pressure is unlike anything Oprah has ever experienced. She's weathered storms before. Controversial book club selections, difficult interviews, public criticisms. But this feels different. This feels personal in a way that professional controversies never did. By 3 p.m., Oprah does something she hasn't done in 15 years. She cancels a day of taping. Her producers are shocked. Oprah never cancels. Never. The show must go on. That's been her philosophy since 1984. But not today. Today, she can't put on a smile and interview celebrities about their latest projects. Can't pretend everything is fine when her personal life is exploding across every screen in America. She goes home, turns off her phone, sits in the dark living room of her Chicago apartment and just breathes. Tries to process everything that's happened in the last 72 hours. 3 days ago, she was at the peak of her career. Untouchable. Beloved. Today, her integrity is being questioned, her family is fractured, and somewhere out there is a niece she never knew existed. Gail arrives uninvited at 6 p.m., using her key to let herself in. She finds Oprah still sitting in the dark. "Hey," Gail says softly. She doesn't turn on lights, just sits next to Oprah. "Talk to me." "I don't know what to say," Oprah admits. "I built my entire career on understanding people, on seeing their pain, on connecting with their struggles. And I couldn't see my own sister falling apart." "You're human, Oprah. You're not superhuman. You can't know everything, fix everything, save everyone. But Patricia isn't everyone. She's my sister. My blood. If I couldn't see her pain, what does that say about me? About everything I claim to stand for?" Gail is quiet for a moment. "It says you're human. It says that sometimes the people closest to us are the hardest to truly see. It says that family dynamics are complicated and messy and don't fit into the neat narratives we create for public consumption." Oprah's phone, the one she turned off, starts lighting up on the coffee table as people call over and over. Even silenced, It's insistent, demanding. The world wants answers. The world wants Oprah to fix this, explain this, make sense of this. But Oprah doesn't have answers. For the first time in her professional life, she doesn't know what to say. At 8 p.m., there's a knock on the door. Gail answers. It's Oprah's mother, Vernita, who drove in from Milwaukee. Vernita walks straight to Oprah and does something she rarely does. Pulls her into a long, tight hug. "My baby," she says. "My strong, successful baby who forgot that even strong people need to rest sometimes." And that's when Oprah breaks. Really breaks. Not the controlled crying of someone managing their image, but raw, ugly sobbing. Years of pressure. Years of being strong for everyone. Years of carrying the weight of an empire and a family, and expectations that no human should have to carry alone. She cries for Patricia, for the pain her sister carried silently. For the baby, Sarah, growing up not knowing her mother or her aunt. For the relationship with her sister that deteriorated so slowly neither of them noticed until it was too late. She cries for herself, for the loneliness of success, for the isolation that comes with fame, for the impossible standard she's held herself to, and the inevitable failure when you try to be perfect. Her mother and Gail just hold her. They don't offer solutions. Don't try to make it better. Just let her feel everything she's been holding back. Later that night, after Vernita goes to the guest room and Gail falls asleep on the couch, Oprah sits at her computer. She shouldn't look at the coverage. She knows it will only make things worse. But she can't help herself. She searches Oprah Winfrey Patricia scandal and watches the results populate. Thousands of articles, millions of social media posts. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone knows exactly what she should have done, should have seen, should have prevented. The comments are brutal. How does someone claim to care about people but ignore their own sister? Oprah is a fraud. This proves she only cares about her image and her money. Patricia was crying for help for years and Oprah was too busy being famous to notice. This is what happens when success goes to your head. You forget where you came from and who helped you get there. But there are other comments too, smaller in number but just as vocal. People are being too hard on Oprah. Family relationships are complicated. Maybe Patricia should have communicated better instead of going to a tabloid. You can't blame Oprah for not being psychic. Patricia hid her pain. How was Oprah supposed to know? The debate rages online and on TV. America is divided. Some see Oprah as the victim of a sister's betrayal. Others see her as a symbol of how success can blind you to the struggles of those around you. Most people fall somewhere in the middle, uncomfortable with the ambiguity. At 2 a.m., unable to sleep, Oprah finds herself looking at old photos. Pictures of her and Patricia as children, squeezed into frame together, arms around each other. Pictures from family gatherings over the years, where you can see the distance growing in their body language, in how they stand apart rather than together. There's one photo from 1998, Christmas at their mother's house. Oprah is in the center, laughing at something someone said. Patricia is in the background, slightly out of focus, watching her sister with an expression Oprah never noticed before. Longing. How did they get here? How did love become resentment? When did sisterhood become obligation? Oprah thinks about the baby. Sarah, 21 years old now. Maybe in college. Maybe working. Maybe with her own family. Living her life completely unaware that her biological mother just exposed their story to the world, and her biological aunt is one of the most famous women on the planet. What must Sarah be thinking right now, if she's watching the news? Is she angry? Curious? Hurt? Does she want to know Patricia? Does she want to meet Oprah? Or does she want nothing to do with a family that seems to specialize in public drama? The questions multiply. The what-ifs pile up. And through it all, one thought keeps returning. Patricia was right. About some things, at least. Oprah did get so consumed by her career that she lost sight of the people who knew her before the fame. She did reduce relationships to transactions. She did fail as a sister, but Patricia failed too. She chose betrayal over communication. She chose selling secrets over seeking help. She chose $50,000 over family loyalty. They're both right. They're both wrong. And that complexity is what makes this so hard. By 4 a.m., Oprah makes a decision. She's going to do the Barbara Walters interview as planned. But she's not going to spin it, not going to manage it. She's going to tell the raw, uncomfortable truth. About her failures, about Patricia's pain, about how two sisters who loved each other deeply somehow ended up here. It's risky. Her team will hate it. Her lawyers will advise against it. But it's the only path forward that feels authentic. And if Oprah has learned anything in her career, it's that authenticity resonates. Even when it's painful. Especially when it's painful. The sun rises on March 19th, day 4 of the scandal. Oprah is exhausted, emotionally drained, but clearer than she's been in days. She calls her publicist at 7 a.m. The Barbara Walters interview. I want to do it tomorrow, not in 2 days. Tomorrow, while everything is still raw. Oprah, we need time to prepare. No preparation, no talking points. Just me and Barbara having an honest conversation. That's it. That's insane. You need structure. I need to tell the truth, Oprah interrupts. The whole truth. Even the parts that make me look bad. Especially the parts that make me look bad. Because that's the only way through this. Her publicist reluctantly agrees. The interview is scheduled for March 20th, tomorrow. 24 hours to prepare. Or rather, 24 hours to let go of preparation and just be real. But the universe isn't done with Oprah yet. Because at 10 a.m. another bombshell drops. Sarah, Patricia's daughter, the girl given up for adoption in 1982, has been found by the press. And she wants to talk. March 19th, 2003, 11 a.m. Sarah Mitchell, 21 years old, college senior at Northwestern University, 30 miles from where Oprah lives, all this time. The press finds her through adoption records that should have been sealed but weren't, through reporters who specialized in finding people who don't want to be found. They knock on her apartment door at 9 a.m. with cameras and microphones and questions that shatter her world. Sarah Mitchell, we're here to talk about your biological mother, Patricia Winfrey. Sarah, who knew she was adopted but never actively searched for her biological family, stares at the cameras in confusion. I don't know what you're talking about. You haven't seen the news? Your biological mother just revealed publicly that she gave you up for adoption in 1982, and your biological aunt is Oprah Winfrey. Sarah closes the door, locks it, slides down to sit against it, her hands shaking. She pulls out her phone, searches her own name, finds hundreds of articles that went live in the last hour. Oprah's secret niece found. Patricia Winfrey's daughter speaks. The girl who never knew her famous family. Except Sarah hasn't spoken. She hasn't said anything. But that doesn't matter. The press has already written her story for her. By noon, Sarah does something impulsive, something that will change everything. She calls the main number for Harpo Productions, Oprah's company. I need to speak with Oprah Winfrey, she tells the receptionist. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm Patricia Winfrey's daughter. 10 minutes later, Oprah is on the phone. Sarah, I don't know if you know about me. Sarah's voice is shaking. I just found out about all of this an hour ago. The press is outside my apartment. They're saying my mother, my biological mother, gave an interview, that she talked about me, that you're my aunt. Oprah's heart breaks at the confusion in this young woman's voice. I just found out about you yesterday. I had no idea Patricia had given birth to you. She never told me. Why would she tell the whole world before telling her own family? It's the question of the hour. The question Oprah has been asking herself. I don't know. But I'm so sorry you're finding out this way. This isn't how you should have learned about your biological family. Sarah is quiet for a moment. Then, I want to meet her, Patricia, my biological mother. I've had 21 years to think about this meeting, and now that it's here I'm terrified, but I need to meet her. I can arrange that, Oprah says immediately. I'll call Patricia right now. Where are you? Northwestern. Evanston. But I can't leave. There are reporters everywhere. Stay there. I'm sending security to get you. You're coming to my place and we're going to figure this out together. Okay? Okay. Sarah sounds like she's about to cry. Thank you. I don't know why I called you, I don't even know you. But you're family, I guess. And I didn't know who else to call. You did exactly right, Oprah assures her. Family takes care of family. Even family we just met. 2 hours later, Sarah is sitting in Oprah's living room, looking completely overwhelmed. She's tall, with Patricia's eyes and Oprah's determined chin. It's surreal, seeing this young woman who carries their genetics but lived an entirely different life. I had good parents, Sarah says, clutching a cup of tea. My adoptive parents, I mean. They loved me, raised me well, told me I was adopted when I was 7 and said if I ever wanted to search for my biological family, they'd support me. But I never did. I was happy with my life. I didn't need to know where I came from. And now, Oprah asks gently, now I need to understand. Why she gave me up, why she never tried to find me, why she told the whole world before telling me. Sarah's voice cracks. I'm angry, I think, but also curious and scared. And I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. You're supposed to feel however you feel, Oprah tells her. There's no script for this situation. At 3 p.m., Patricia arrives. Oprah called her immediately after talking to Sarah, and Patricia drove from Milwaukee in record time, her hands shaking on the steering wheel the entire way. Now she stands in Oprah's entryway, staring at the young woman sitting in the living room. The daughter she held for 10 minutes 21 years ago. The baby she thinks about every day. The girl who became a woman without her. Sarah stands up slowly. They look at each other across the room. Mother and daughter. Strangers who share blood. Hi, Patricia says, and her voice is barely a whisper. Hi, Sarah responds. Oprah quietly excuses herself, leaving them alone. This moment belongs to them, not to her. For a long time, neither Patricia nor Sarah speaks. They just look at each other, trying to see the connection, trying to feel something definitive. Love, anger, recognition. Finally, Sarah says, "Why?" Patricia knows exactly what she's asking. Because I was 25, broke, barely surviving myself. Because I was so depressed I could barely get out of bed most days. Because I knew I couldn't give you the life you deserved. Because I was terrified I'd fail you the way I'd failed at everything else. Did you think about me? Every single day. Patricia's tears start falling. Every birthday. Every Christmas. Every milestone I knew you were probably hitting. First day of school. First date. Graduation. I wondered what you looked like, what you were doing, if you were happy, if you ever thought about me. I did, Sarah admits. Sometimes, especially when I was younger, I'd make up stories about you, about why you gave me up. In my head, you were always this tragic figure who loved me but couldn't keep me. I needed to believe that it was about circumstance, not about not wanting me. It was never about not wanting you, Patricia says fiercely. It was about wanting you to have more than I could give, more than I was. They talk for hours. Sarah asks questions. Patricia answers. Sometimes the answers are what Sarah needs to hear. Sometimes they're not. But they're honest, raw, real. Sarah learns about her biological mother's struggles with depression, with identity, with living in Oprah's shadow. Patricia learns about Sarah's life, her adoptive parents who loved her unconditionally, her passion for teaching, her plans to work with disadvantaged kids after graduation, and slowly, something forms between them. Not quite love, not yet, but understanding, connection, the beginning of something that could maybe someday become a relationship. When Oprah returns at 7 p.m., she finds them sitting closer together on the couch, Sarah showing Patricia pictures on her phone. This is my family, Sarah is saying. My parents, Mark and Ellen. My brother, he's adopted too. We joke that we're the chosen ones because our parents picked us specifically. Patricia looks at the pictures, at the life her daughter lived without her, and feels something complicated. Grief for what she missed, but also relief. Gratitude that Sarah had what Patricia couldn't provide. Stability, love, security. They look wonderful, Patricia says sincerely. I'm glad you had them. I'm glad you had that life. Sarah looks at her. I think I think maybe I can have both. My family, my adoptive family, will always be my family. But maybe you can be part of my life too? In some way? Patricia nods, unable to speak through her tears. Oprah watches this moment and feels something shift. The scandal is still happening. The media is still circling. Her interview with Barbara Walters is tomorrow. But right here, right now, something is being healed. Something is being built. Sarah turns to Oprah. This is weird for me too, you know. Finding out my aunt is Oprah Winfrey. Like, I've watched your show. You gave my mom a book for her birthday last year. One of your book club picks. And now you're my aunt? Oprah laughs. It's the first time she's truly laughed in days. It's weird for me too. I didn't wake up last week thinking I'd discover I had a niece. But here we are, and I have to say, Patricia, she's incredible. You should be proud. I am, Patricia says, looking at Sarah. I really am. That night, the three of them, Oprah, Patricia, and Sarah, sit together and talk. Not about the scandal. Not about the media circus. Just about life. About family. About the complicated ways people are connected and disconnected and reconnected. Sarah tells stories about growing up in Oak Park, about her parents and brother, about discovering she wanted to be a teacher. Patricia talks about her life in Milwaukee, about the job she worked, about the depression she fought for years. Oprah shares stories about the early days of her career, about the loneliness of success, about how strange it is to be famous. And for a few hours, they're not Oprah Winfrey, media mogul, Patricia Winfrey, the sister who betrayed Oprah, and Sarah Mitchell, the secret daughter. They're just three women, connected by blood and circumstance, trying to understand each other. Around midnight, Sarah's phone buzzes. It's her adoptive mother, Ellen. Hi, honey, we saw the news. Are you okay? Do you want us to come get you? Sarah looks at Patricia and Oprah. I'm okay, Mom. I'm with my biological family. But I'll come home soon. I want you to meet them. All of us together. Would that be weird? Ellen laughs on the other end. Honey, we've been waiting 21 years for this moment. Bring them over. Let's do this right. And that's how, at 1 a.m. on March 20th, Oprah Winfrey finds herself in a modest home in Oak Park, meeting Sarah's adoptive parents. Ellen and Mark Mitchell welcome them without judgment, without hesitation. They've known Sarah was adopted. They've always said they'd support her if she wanted to find her biological family. They just never expected the biological family to include Oprah Winfrey. But Ellen is gracious. She makes coffee, brings out photo albums, shows Patricia pictures of Sarah growing up, first steps, first day of school, high school graduation. All the moments Patricia missed. Thank you, Patricia says to Ellen. Thank you for giving her everything I couldn't. Ellen takes Patricia's hand. You gave her life. That was the hardest gift. Everything after that was the easy part. Oprah watches this interaction and feels something fundamental shift in her understanding. For days, she's been focused on the betrayal, on the scandal, on how this affects her and her empire. But sitting here, watching Patricia connect with the daughter she gave up and the family that raised her, Oprah realizes this story is so much bigger than a scandal. It's about love in all its messy, complicated forms. It's about the choices we make and live with. It's about family, the one we're born into and the one we build. It's about forgiveness and second chances and the courage it takes to be vulnerable. At 3 a.m. they finally leave. Sarah walks them to the car. I don't know what happens next, Sarah says, with the media, with all of this. But I'm glad I met you both. I'm glad I know where I come from now. What do you want to happen? Patricia asks. Do you want to be part of this story? Or do you want privacy? Sarah thinks about it. I want to tell my story. My way. Not the way the tabloids are telling it. I want people to know that adoption can be beautiful. That you can love your adoptive family and still be curious about your biological family. That it's not one or the other. Oprah smiles. You sound like your aunt. Which one? Sarah grins. They all laugh. And for a moment, the weight of the scandal lifts. Driving home, Oprah and Patricia sit in silence. Finally, Patricia says, I'm sorry For all of it. For the betrayal. For the secrets. For everything. I'm sorry too, Oprah responds. For not seeing your pain. For not being the sister you needed. For letting success blind me to what mattered. Can we come back from this? As sisters? Oprah is quiet for a long moment. I don't know. Maybe. It won't be easy. Trust isn't rebuilt overnight. But tonight felt like a beginning. Maybe that's enough for now. And it is. A beginning. Small. Fragile. But real. Tomorrow, Oprah will sit down with Barbara Walters and tell America everything. The whole complicated, messy truth. But tonight, she's just a woman who rediscovered her sister and met her niece. And for now, that's enough. If you're still with me, you're absolutely incredible. This story is almost over, but the ending is something you can't miss. Before we get there, I need you to do something for me. Share this video. Seriously. Share it with your friends, your family, anyone who needs to hear this story about forgiveness, family, and second chances. Hit that subscribe button because we're creating content that matters, stories that challenge us and make us think differently about the people in our lives. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever had a relationship that seemed broken beyond repair? What did you do? Let's talk about it. Now, let's get to the final chapters of this incredible story. March 20th, 2003. 2:06 p.m. Barbara Walters sits across from Oprah in a carefully staged living room in Harpo Studios. The lighting is soft, the chairs comfortable, but the atmosphere is tense. This isn't just an interview. This is Oprah's reputation on the line. Her legacy. Everything she's built over 20 years. The cameras aren't rolling yet. Barbara leans forward. Are you sure you want to do this? Once we start, there's no taking it back. Whatever you say will be dissected, analyzed, replayed. You know that better than anyone. Oprah nods. I know. And I'm sure. For years, I've interviewed people in crisis, people at their lowest points. I've asked them to be vulnerable, to share their pain, to trust me with their stories. Now it's my turn. Okay. Barbara sits back. Then let's begin. The cameras start rolling. Barbara doesn't ease into it. She goes straight for the heart of it. Oprah, 5 days ago, your sister Patricia gave an interview to the National Enquirer revealing intimate details about your private life. How did that feel? Oprah takes a breath. It felt like betrayal. Like someone I loved and trusted took my vulnerability and sold it for money. I was angry, hurt, confused. All the emotions you'd expect when family turns on you. Are you still angry? Yes. But I'm also sad. Because anger is easier than sadness. Anger lets you be righteous. Sadness requires you to look at your own failures. Your failures? Barbara probes. Many people would say Patricia is the one who failed, who betrayed trust. She did, Oprah agrees. But I failed too. For years, I failed to truly see my sister's pain. I reduced our relationship to transactions, sending money, buying gifts, making obligatory phone calls. I told myself I was being a good sister, but I was really just checking boxes. Barbara leans in. When did you learn about Patricia's daughter? About Sarah? 2 days ago. Patricia told me she gave birth in 1982 and placed the baby for adoption. I had no idea. For 21 years, I didn't know I had a niece. How did that make you feel? Oprah's voice cracks slightly. It made me realize how much I didn't know about my sister's life. How absent I'd been. Patricia went through one of the most difficult decisions a woman can make, giving up a child. And she felt she couldn't tell me. Couldn't trust me with that pain. What does that say about our relationship? What does that say about me as a sister? But you've supported Patricia financially for years. You bought her a house. Money isn't relationship, Oprah interrupts. Money is easy. Time is hard. Presence is hard. Really seeing someone, really asking about their pain and sitting with them through it, that's hard. And I didn't do it. I was too busy building an empire to maintain the relationships that mattered most. Barbara pauses. This isn't the interview she expected. She thought Oprah would defend herself, paint Patricia as the villain. Instead, Oprah is taking responsibility. Are you saying Patricia was right to expose your secrets? No, Oprah says firmly. Betrayal is never right. But pain is real, and Patricia's pain was real. She felt invisible. She felt like she didn't matter. And instead of talking to me about it, she talked to a tabloid. That's on her. But the fact that she felt she couldn't talk to me, that's on me. Have you spoken to Patricia since the scandal broke? Yes, we've talked. It's been difficult, painful, but necessary. And Sarah, Patricia's daughter, have you met her? Oprah's face softens. I have. She's remarkable. Smart, compassionate, wise beyond her years. She was raised by wonderful adoptive parents who loved her completely. And now she's navigating this incredibly complicated situation with grace and maturity that humbles me. What does Sarah want? To understand. To have a relationship with her biological mother if possible. To tell her story her way, not the way the tabloids tell it. She wants people to know that adoption isn't a tragedy. It can be an act of love, that you can honor your adoptive family while also being curious about your biological family. Barbara shifts direction. Oprah, there's been criticism that you, someone who built a career on empathy, couldn't see your own sister's pain. How do you respond to that? This is the question everyone wants answered. The question that cuts to the core of Oprah's public image. Oprah looks directly at the camera. It's a valid criticism. I claim to understand people, to see their struggles, to connect with their pain. And I couldn't do that with my own sister. That's a failure. A profound one. And I have to live with that. So what now? Where do you and Patricia go from here? I don't know, Oprah admits. We're trying. We've started talking honestly for the first time in years. But trust takes time to rebuild. Pain doesn't disappear just because you acknowledge it. We may never have the relationship we should have had. But maybe we can build something new. Something honest. Do you forgive her? The question hangs in the air. The question everyone wants answered. Oprah is quiet for a long moment. I'm working on it. Forgiveness isn't a switch you flip. It's a process. Some days I feel generous and understanding. Other days I feel betrayed all over again. But I'm trying. Because holding on to anger only hurts me. It doesn't change what happened. It doesn't heal anything. What about Patricia? Has she asked for forgiveness? She has. She's apologized. And I believe she means it. I think she realizes the cost of what she did. Not just to me, but to herself. To her relationship with Sarah. To our family. Barbara asks the next obvious question. Will this experience change how you approach your show? Your career? Oprah nods slowly. It already has. For years, I've interviewed people about their struggles while keeping my own struggles private. I've been the listener, the helper, the advisor. But this experience has reminded me that I'm human too. That I make mistakes. That I fail people I love. And maybe that's something I need to share more often. Not to make excuses, but to be real. Some people will say this scandal has damaged your brand. Your image as America's most trusted person. How do you respond? If my brand is based on being perfect, then yes, it's damaged. But I hope my brand is based on being real. And real people make mistakes. Real people fail. Real people have complicated family dynamics. If people can't accept that, then maybe they were never really seeing me anyway. Maybe they were seeing who they wanted me to be. The interview continues for another hour. Barbara asks about the tabloid coverage, the public response, the impact on Oprah's business. But the core message remains consistent. Oprah is taking responsibility for her failures while also acknowledging Patricia's betrayal. She's refusing to be either pure victim or pure villain. She's insisting on complexity. When the cameras finally stop rolling, Barbara says something unexpected. That was the most honest interview I've ever done with you. Maybe the most honest interview I've ever done with anyone. Oprah smiles tiredly. When you have nothing left to protect, honesty gets easier. The interview airs that evening. The response is immediate and divided. Some people praise Oprah's vulnerability. This is why she's Oprah. She takes responsibility. She admits failure. She's real. Others criticize her. She's trying to spin a betrayal into a lesson, She's making this about her growth instead of Patricia's crime. Some defend Patricia. Finally, someone spoke up about what it's like to live in Oprah's shadow. Patricia is a hero for telling her truth. Others condemn her. You don't betray family for money, period. Patricia is unforgivable. But something interesting happens in the days following the interview. The conversation shifts. It's no longer just about Oprah and Patricia. It becomes about family dynamics in general, about the complexity of sibling relationships, about the difference between financial support and emotional support, about forgiveness and second chances. People start sharing their own stories, about siblings they're estranged from, about family members they resent or who resent them, about complicated relationships that don't fit neat narratives. The scandal, which could have destroyed Oprah's career, instead becomes a national conversation about things people rarely discuss publicly. Family dysfunction, the cost of success, the complexity of love and resentment existing simultaneously. But privately, Oprah is still struggling. The public interview was one thing. The private reality is another. She sits with her therapist, something she hasn't mentioned publicly but has been doing for years. I meant everything I said in that interview. But I still wake up angry. I still feel betrayed. How do I reconcile that? Her therapist nods. You reconcile it by accepting that both things are true. You can intellectually understand Patricia's pain while emotionally feeling hurt by her betrayal. You can be working toward forgiveness while still processing anger. Healing isn't linear. How long does it take? There's no timeline, but it starts with what you're already doing, being honest about all of it. The good, the bad, the complicated. That night, Oprah writes in her journal, another private practice she's maintained for years. Today I told millions of people that I failed my sister, that I let success blind me to what mattered, that I reduced relationships to transactions. It's all true, but I'm also still hurt, still angry, still working through whether forgiveness is even possible. I want to be the bigger person, the evolved person, the person who understands and forgives. But I'm also just a woman whose sister betrayed her. And some days that's all I can be. March 25th, 2003. 1 week after Patricia's initial interview. Oprah sits in her Chicago office, looking at 2 documents on her desk. One is a lawsuit draft her lawyers prepared. It's comprehensive, detailed, potentially devastating. It could sue Patricia for breach of privacy, emotional distress, potentially even the National Enquirer for publishing information obtained through family betrayal. The other document is simpler. It's a statement Oprah wrote herself, announcing that she's chosen not to pursue legal action, that she's choosing forgiveness over retribution. She's been staring at these 2 pieces of paper for an hour. Her lawyer sits across from her. Oprah, if you don't pursue this legally, you're setting a precedent. You're saying it's okay to betray you, that there are no consequences. There are consequences, Oprah responds, just not legal ones. Patricia has to live with what she did. She has to rebuild trust not just with me, but with herself. That's a consequence. But the law can't fix this, Oprah interrupts. A lawsuit won't repair our relationship. It won't undo the pain. It will just create more pain, more publicity, more division. And for what? Money I don't need? Vindication that won't satisfy? Her publicist joins the conversation. From a PR standpoint, forgiveness plays well. It fits your brand. But you need to be strategic about how you announce it. You can't look weak. Oprah picks up the statement she wrote. I'm not announcing forgiveness because it's strategic. I'm announcing it because it's true. Because holding on to anger is destroying me more than Patricia's betrayal ever could. She stands. Decision made. Schedule a press conference for tomorrow. I'm going to tell the truth. All of it. Her team exchanges worried glances, but they know better than to argue when Oprah has that look in her eyes. The look that says she's already decided, and nothing will change her mind. That evening, Oprah calls Patricia. I'm doing a press conference tomorrow. I'm going to tell everyone that I'm not pursuing legal action, that I'm choosing to work toward forgiveness. Patricia is silent for a long moment. Why? Because you're my sister. Because Sarah deserves to have both of us in her life without this cloud of lawsuits and revenge hanging over everything. Because I'm exhausted from being angry. And because I think you've suffered enough. Oprah, I don't deserve your forgiveness. Maybe not. But I deserve peace. And I can't have peace while carrying this much anger. Oprah pauses. Tomorrow, when I announce this, the press is going to come after you even harder. They're going to ask why I'm forgiving you. What you've done to earn it. Are you ready for that? No, Patricia admits, but I'll face it. It's the least I can do. There's something else, Oprah says. I want you there, at the press conference, standing next to me when I make the announcement. Are you insane? The media will tear us apart. Let them try. For once, we're going to control this narrative. We're going to show them what real family looks like. Messy, complicated, painful, but real. Patricia's voice breaks. I don't know if I can do that. You can, because you're stronger than you think, and because Sarah will be there too. She wants to speak, to tell her story, and she wants both of us with her when she does. The next day, March 26, 2003 at 2 p.m., Oprah stands in front of a room packed with journalists. The energy is electric. Everyone knows something big is about to happen. Patricia stands to her right, looking terrified but determined. Sarah stands to her left, holding both their hands. 3 generations of women, connected by blood and scandal, about to face the world together. Oprah steps up to the microphone. Thank you all for coming. I know there's been a lot of speculation about what I'm going to say today. About whether I'll be pursuing legal action against my sister. About whether our family can survive this scandal. She pauses, looking at Patricia and Sarah. The answer is simple, though the journey to get here hasn't been. I'm not pursuing legal action. I'm choosing forgiveness, not because what Patricia did was right. It wasn't. Not because the pain she caused is insignificant. It's not. But because holding on to anger was destroying me. The room erupts with questions, but Oprah holds up her hand. I'm not finished. For the past week, I've been forced to confront some hard truths about myself. About how my success created distance between me and the people I love. About how I reduced relationships to transactions. About how I failed to see my sister's pain until it exploded in the most public way possible. She looks directly at the cameras. Patricia's betrayal hurt. It still hurts. But she was right about some things. I was absent. I was so focused on building my empire that I forgot to maintain the relationships that gave my life meaning. That's on me. A reporter shouts, "Are you saying she was justified in selling your secrets?" No, Oprah says firmly. Betrayal is never justified. But pain is real, and Patricia's pain was real. She felt invisible. She felt like she didn't matter. And instead of creating a space where she could share that pain with me, I created a relationship where she felt her only option was to go public. Patricia steps forward, her voice shaking but clear. I want to say something. What I did was wrong. I betrayed my sister's trust. I sold her privacy for money. There's no excuse for that. But I also want people to understand that it wasn't about the money. It was about finally being seen. About existing outside of Oprah's shadow for just one moment. She looks at Oprah. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I know that sorry doesn't fix what I broke. But I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to earn back your trust. Not because you owe me forgiveness, but because you deserve a sister who shows up, who's present, who loves you not for what you can give me, but for who you are. Then Sarah steps forward. The room goes silent. Everyone knows her story now. The daughter Patricia gave up for adoption. The niece Oprah never knew existed. Hi, Sarah says, her voice surprisingly steady. I'm Sarah Mitchell. I'm Patricia's biological daughter. And for the past week, my life has been turned upside down. I went from being a normal college student to being at the center of one of the biggest scandals in entertainment history. She looks at the crowd of reporters. But here's what I want people to understand. Adoption isn't a scandal. It's not a dirty secret. My biological mother made an incredibly difficult choice 21 years ago. She chose to give me a life she couldn't provide. And my adoptive parents chose to love me unconditionally. Both of those choices were acts of love. Sarah takes Patricia's hand. I'm angry that I found out about my biological family through a tabloid. I'm hurt that my story was made public without my consent. But I'm also grateful, because now I have the chance to know Patricia, to understand where I come from, to build a relationship with both my biological and adoptive families. She turns to Oprah. And I'm grateful to have an aunt who's showing me what real strength looks like. Not the strength to destroy someone who hurt you, but the strength to forgive them. That's the kind of person I want to be. The press conference continues for another hour. Reporters ask every question imaginable. Some are supportive, many are skeptical. A few are openly hostile, suggesting this is all a PR stunt. But Oprah, Patricia, and Sarah stand together through all of it. They don't have all the answers. They don't pretend everything is fixed. They just tell the truth, that they're a complicated family trying to heal in the most public way possible. When it's finally over, when the last reporter has left and the cameras have been turned off, the three women collapse into chairs, exhausted. "That was the hardest thing I've ever done," Patricia says. "You did great," Sarah tells her. "You were honest, real." Oprah nods. "Now comes the hard part." "That wasn't the hard part?" Patricia laughs weakly. "No, that was the public part. The hard part is what happens next. Living this, following through, building something real out of all this wreckage." And she's right. Over the next few weeks, the media coverage is intense. Some people praise Oprah's decision to forgive. Others criticize her, saying she's being too soft, that Patricia should face legal consequences. Patricia is vilified by some, sympathized with by others. She receives death threats. She also receives letters from people thanking her for speaking out about living in someone's shadow, about the pain of feeling invisible. Sarah becomes an unlikely spokesperson for adoption awareness. She does interviews about her experience, always careful to honor both her adoptive family and her biological family. She becomes a bridge, showing that love isn't finite, that you can honor multiple families without betraying any of them. But the most important changes happen in private. Oprah and Patricia start meeting weekly. Sometimes they talk for hours. Sometimes they sit in silence. Sometimes they argue. But they show up. They're present. Patricia starts therapy, finally addressing the depression and resentment she's carried for decades. She begins to build an identity separate from being Oprah's sister. She volunteers at a local community center. She starts writing, not about Oprah, but about her own journey. Oprah, too, makes changes. She starts being more selective about her commitments. She blocks out time for family that's non-negotiable. She learns to be present in a way she never was before. And Sarah becomes the glue that holds them together. She has dinner with Patricia every Sunday. She visits Oprah in Chicago once a month. She brings her adoptive parents into the mix, creating this extended, complicated, beautiful family that doesn't look like anything traditional but works. 3 months after the scandal, on a quiet Sunday in June, they all gather at Oprah's house in Chicago. Oprah, Patricia, Sarah, Sarah's adoptive parents Mark and Ellen, and Vernita Lee, the mother who raised Oprah and Patricia through impossible circumstances. They're not there for any special occasion. No birthdays, no holidays, just Sunday dinner, just family being family. As they sit around the table, passing dishes and sharing stories, Oprah looks at these people, this complicated, messy, imperfect family, and feels something she hasn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not the peace of having everything figured out, not the peace of perfection, but the peace of knowing that they're all trying, that they're showing up, that they're choosing each other despite the pain, despite the mistakes, despite everything. Later that night, after everyone has left, Patricia helps Oprah clean up. They work in comfortable silence, moving around each other like they used to when they were kids, when life was simpler, but not easier. "Thank you," Patricia says suddenly. "For what?" "For not destroying me. You could have. You had every right to. But you chose forgiveness instead. I'll never forget that." Oprah sets down the dish she's washing. "I didn't do it for you. I did it for me. Because I couldn't carry that anger anymore. It was killing me. Still, thank you." They hug. It's awkward at first. They're not used to physical affection, to vulnerability. But then they relax into it. Two sisters who almost lost each other forever, holding on tight. The scandal that could have destroyed everything instead became a catalyst for healing. It forced conversations that should have happened years ago. It exposed wounds that needed to be addressed. It brought Sarah into their lives, a gift they didn't know they were missing. Was it worth it? That's the question Oprah asks herself late at night sometimes. Was the pain, the public humiliation, the near destruction of everything she built worth the healing that came after? She doesn't know. Maybe some questions don't have answers. Maybe some prices are too high even when you get what you pay for. But she knows this. They're all still here. Still trying. Still building something out of the wreckage. And maybe that's enough. June 2004. 1 year after the scandal, Oprah stands backstage at Harpo Studios, about to tape a special episode. A full year has passed since Patricia's betrayal, since the scandal that almost destroyed everything, since the press conference where they chose forgiveness over revenge. The episode today is about family, about complicated relationships, about forgiveness. And Oprah has invited Patricia and Sarah to join her on stage to share their story 1 year later. Her producer approaches. "Are you sure about this? Opening up the family wounds again on national television?" Oprah nods. "I'm sure. Because our story didn't end with the scandal. That was just the middle. And people need to see that healing is possible. That families can survive even the worst betrayals if they're willing to do the work." The audience files in. They don't know what they're about to witness. They think they're coming to a regular taping of the Oprah Winfrey Show. They have no idea they're about to be part of something much more personal. Oprah walks out to thunderous applause. The audience loves her, has stuck with her through the scandal, through the criticism, through everything. That loyalty is something she'll never take for granted again. "Welcome," Oprah says, her voice warm. "Today's show is different. Today, I'm not interviewing celebrities or experts. Today, I'm sharing something deeply personal. My family story. The story of how my sister's betrayal almost destroyed us, and how we found our way back to each other." She signals, and Patricia walks out. The audience gasps. They recognize her from the news coverage, from the scandal. Some people clap. Others sit in shocked silence. Patricia looks different than she did a year ago. Healthier, more confident. She's been in therapy, has been working on herself, has been building a life that's hers and not defined by Oprah. Then Sarah walks out. The niece America fell in love with during the scandal. She's finishing her senior year at Northwestern, studying education, planning to teach underserved children. She's poised, articulate, and carries herself with a grace that comes from having navigated impossible circumstances. The three women sit together. Oprah in the middle, Patricia and Sarah on either side. A family, visible and united, in front of millions of people. "Patricia," Oprah begins, "it's been a year since the scandal, since you gave that interview, since everything exploded. Looking back now, what do you see?" Patricia takes a deep breath. "I see desperation. I see a woman who was so lost in her own pain that she made a terrible choice. I see someone who hurt the person she loved most because she didn't know how else to be seen." She pauses. "I also see growth. This year has been the hardest of my life. Facing what I did. Facing the consequences. But it's also been the most transformative." "How?" Oprah probes gently. "Because for the first time in my life, I had to build an identity that wasn't about you. I couldn't be Oprah's sister anymore. I destroyed that relationship. So I had to figure out who Patricia was, what I wanted, what I valued, what I could contribute to the world beyond my connection to you." "And what did you find?" Patricia smiles. "I found that I love working with kids. I'm volunteering at a youth center in Milwaukee, helping teenagers who feel invisible, who feel like their lives don't matter. I see myself in them, and I can tell them, I know what it feels like to be overlooked. But you matter. Your story matters. You don't have to burn down someone else's house to build your own." The audience applauds. Some people are crying. This isn't the villain they saw on the news a year ago. This is a woman who did something terrible and is genuinely trying to become better. Oprah turns to Sarah. "And you. You were thrust into the spotlight in the worst possible way. How has this year been for you? Sarah laughs. Surreal. I went from being a normal college student to being Oprah Winfrey's niece. People recognize me on campus. I get stopped for photos. It's bizarre. But beyond the fame? How has it been navigating these new relationships? Sarah's expression becomes serious. It's been complicated. I love my adoptive parents. They raised me. They're my family. But I also wanted to know Patricia, to understand where I came from. And I wanted to know you, Aunt Oprah. It's the first time Sarah has called her Aunt Oprah publicly. Oprah's eyes water. At first I felt guilty, Sarah continues. Like wanting to know my biological family was betraying my adoptive parents. But they helped me see that love isn't finite. That I can love them and also build relationships with Patricia and you. That family is big enough for everyone. Have you built those relationships? Oprah asks. Yes. Patricia and I have dinner every week. We talk about everything. Her life, my life, what she was like at my age, what I'm like now. We're getting to know each other slowly. It's not a fairy tale. We don't have some instant, perfect mother-daughter bond, but we're building something real. And us? Oprah asks. What's our relationship like? Sarah grins. You're the cool aunt who gives the best advice and occasionally tries too hard to be relatable. The audience laughs. Oprah laughs too, surprised and delighted by Sarah's honesty. But seriously, Sarah adds, you've been amazing. You've included me in your life without overwhelming me. You've respected my boundaries while also making it clear I'm always welcome. You've shown me what it means to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. Oprah turns back to Patricia. I want to ask you something I haven't asked before, not publicly. Do you regret the interview? Knowing everything that came after, the pain, the scandal, the almost destruction of our relationship, do you regret it? Patricia is quiet for a long moment. The audience leans forward, waiting. That's complicated, Patricia finally says. I regret the method. I regret going to a tabloid. I regret the pain I caused you. But I don't regret that it forced us to have conversations we should have had years ago. I don't regret that it brought Sarah into our lives. I don't regret that it pushed me to finally address my own issues, instead of blaming them all on you. She looks at Oprah. If I could go back, I'd do it differently. I'd sit you down and say, Oprah, I'm drowning. I need help. I need to be seen. But I didn't have that courage then. The interview was my coward's way out. My explosion because I didn't know how to have a conversation. And now? Oprah asks. If you were drowning now, what would you do? I'd call you, Patricia says simply, because this year has taught me that you'll answer, that you'll show up, that you care more about me than about your image or your empire. I just didn't know that before. Oprah reaches over and takes Patricia's hand. I'm sorry I didn't make that clear. I'm sorry you ever doubted that. We both made mistakes, Patricia says. We both have things to apologize for. But we're here. We're trying. And that's what matters. The show continues. Oprah opens the floor to audience questions. A woman stands up, tears streaming down her face. I have a sister I haven't spoken to in 5 years, she says. We had a fight about something stupid, and then pride kept us apart. Watching you three, it makes me want to call her, but I'm scared she won't answer. Call her anyway, Patricia says immediately, because 5 years from now you'll regret the time you wasted. Trust me, I wasted decades being too proud, too hurt, too stuck in my resentment to reach out. Don't make my mistakes. Another audience member asks Sarah, do you think your biological mother did the right thing giving you up for adoption? Sarah nods without hesitation. Absolutely. She gave me a life she couldn't provide. She chose my well-being over her own desire to keep me. That's love. The deepest kind of love there is. A man in the back raises his hand. Oprah, you're known for holding people accountable, for calling out bad behavior. Why didn't you destroy Patricia? Why forgiveness instead of consequences? Oprah considers the question carefully. Because destruction is easy, revenge is easy, making someone pay is easy. But forgiveness, healing, rebuilding, that's the hard work. And I built my career on doing hard work, on tackling difficult issues, on showing that change is possible. How could I preach that message for 20 years and then not live it when it mattered most? She continues. Also, destroying Patricia wouldn't have fixed anything. It wouldn't have healed our relationship. It wouldn't have brought Sarah into our lives. It wouldn't have forced me to examine my own failures. Revenge feels good in the moment, but it leaves you empty. Forgiveness is harder, but it fills you up. The show winds down. Oprah thanks the audience, thanks Patricia and Sarah for their courage in sharing their story so publicly. As they walk off stage together, Sarah between her biological mother and her aunt, something remarkable happens. The audience stands. They're not just clapping politely. They're giving a standing ovation. And they're not just applauding Oprah. They're applauding all three women for their honesty, their vulnerability, their willingness to show that healing is messy and difficult and possible. Backstage, after the cameras stop rolling, the three women hug. It's natural now, not awkward like it was a year ago. They've learned each other's rhythms. They've built something real. I'm proud of you, Oprah tells Patricia, for showing up today, for being honest about your journey, for doing the work. I'm proud of you too, Patricia responds, for choosing forgiveness when you could have chosen revenge, for being the bigger person without making me feel small. Sarah looks at both of them. I'm proud of both of you, for showing me that families can survive anything if they're willing to fight for each other, instead of against each other. That night, they have dinner together, just the three of them, at a small Italian restaurant in Chicago. No cameras, no audience, just family. Over pasta and wine, they talk about the future. Patricia shares that she's been offered a job coordinating youth programs at a community center. Sarah talks about her plans after graduation, teaching at an inner-city school, making a difference in kids' lives the way people made a difference in hers. Oprah announces that she's starting a new initiative on her show, Healing Family Wounds, a series dedicated to helping families navigate difficult conversations, rebuild broken relationships, and find forgiveness. Our story inspired it, she tells them. If we can help even one family avoid the pain we went through, it'll be worth it. As the evening winds down, Patricia says something unexpected. I've been writing about my experience, not a tell-all or anything exploitative, but a memoir about living in someone's shadow and finding your own light, about making terrible mistakes and learning to live with them, about the journey from resentment to healing. Are you going to publish it? Oprah asks. I don't know. Maybe. But this time if I do, it'll be my story to tell. Not secrets I'm selling, not betrayals I'm exposing, just my truth, my journey. With your permission, of course. Oprah smiles. You don't need my permission. Tell your story. Own it. I trust you. Those three words, I trust you, hang in the air. A year ago, they would have been impossible. Now, they're not quite easy, but they're true. Trust is being rebuilt, slowly, carefully, one honest conversation at a time. They part ways that night with plans to meet again next week. It's become a ritual. Sunday dinners, rotating between Patricia's place in Milwaukee, Oprah's place in Chicago, and Sarah's apartment in Evanston. They take turns cooking. They argue about politics and laugh about family memories and support each other through daily struggles. It's not perfect. Some weeks are harder than others. Sometimes old resentments bubble up. Sometimes the wounds feel fresh again. But they keep showing up. They keep choosing each other, because that's what family does. Real family. Not the Instagram perfect version, not the sitcom version where everything is resolved in 30 minutes, but the messy, complicated, choose you every day, even when it's hard version. 2 years later, in 2006, Patricia publishes her memoir. It's called Finding Patricia, A Journey from Shadow to Light. It's honest about her mistakes, her betrayal, her struggle with depression and identity. But it's also honest about Oprah's failures, about the complexity of their relationship, about how success can create distance. Most importantly, it's honest about the healing, about how forgiveness isn't a moment but a process, about how families can come back from the brink if they're willing to do the work. The book becomes a bestseller, Not because of the scandal, that's old news by now, but because it resonates with millions of people who have complicated family relationships, who have siblings they've lost touch with, who have resentments they don't know how to voice, who need to know that healing is possible. Oprah writes the foreword. In it, she says, "My sister betrayed me in the most public way possible. She sold my secrets. She exposed my vulnerabilities. She almost destroyed everything I built. And yet, reading this book, I'm grateful. Grateful that the worst moment of our relationship became the catalyst for building something real. Grateful that we had the courage to face each other honestly. Grateful that we chose forgiveness over revenge, healing over hurting, family over ego." Sarah, now a teacher at a school on Chicago's South Side, uses the book in her classroom. She teaches her students about complicated relationships, about making mistakes and learning from them, about the power of second chances. And sometimes when her students ask if she's really related to Oprah Winfrey, Sarah smiles and says, "Yes. But more importantly, I'm related to Patricia. She's my biological mother. She made a mistake. She owned it. She changed. And she taught me that who you are today matters more than who you were yesterday." The story of Oprah, Patricia, and Sarah doesn't end with a neat bow. Life doesn't work that way. There are still hard days, still moments of tension, still reminders of the betrayal that started it all. But there's also joy. There's also connection. There's also the deep satisfaction of knowing they almost lost each other and chose to find each other instead. Years later, when interviewers ask Oprah about the scandal, and they always do, she says the same thing. "It was the worst thing that happened to me, and it was the best thing that happened to me. It broke us apart so we could come back together stronger. It exposed our wounds so we could finally heal them. It forced us to be honest when we'd been hiding behind politeness and obligation for decades." And when they ask if she truly forgave Patricia, Oprah smiles. "Every day. I forgive her every day. Some days it's easy, some days it's hard. But I choose forgiveness every single day because the alternative, holding on to anger, living in resentment, staying broken, is worse than the work of healing." This is the story of how a phone call in Atlanta almost destroyed Oprah Winfrey's empire. How a sister's betrayal exposed wounds that had festered for decades. How a scandal became a catalyst for healing. But more than that, it's a story about the complexity of family. About how love and resentment can coexist. About how success can blind you to what matters. About how the people who hurt us most are often the ones hurting most themselves. It's a story about forgiveness. Not the easy kind that costs nothing, but the hard kind that demands everything. The kind that makes you look at your own failures. The kind that requires you to let go of your right to revenge. The kind that forces you to be vulnerable when you want to be strong. And ultimately, it's a story about choice. The choice to heal instead of hurt. The choice to forgive instead of destroy. The choice to see someone's humanity even when they've shown you their worst. Oprah, Patricia, and Sarah made that choice. Every day, in big ways and small, they keep making it. And in doing so, they transformed a scandal into a testament to the power of family, forgiveness, and second chances. The phone call in Atlanta that started it all, it almost destroyed everything. But in the end, it saved them. Not from each other, but from the distance and resentment that had been slowly killing their relationship for decades. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to you is exactly what you need. Sometimes you have to break completely to rebuild properly. Sometimes the path to healing runs straight through the heart of pain. This is that story. Not a fairy tale, not a Hollywood ending. Just three women who loved each other, lost each other, and found each other again. Who chose forgiveness when revenge would have been easier. Who built something real out of the wreckage of betrayal. And in doing so, they showed millions of people around the world that families can survive anything. That healing is possible. That love, real love, is stronger than any scandal.